Hey everybody, welcome to Open Panel Wednesday. How are all my gems doing? You have made it to the weekend. And so I welcome you and I hope everybody is doing great so far. I'm going to put the link in the chat. You know how we do it, Open Panel Wednesday. So I'm just going to start off by saying thanks to everybody who is connected to this channel as a part of my GEMS family. And of course, only people that I know can come up on the panel if because some crazy stuff that's been happening on these YouTube streets. A lot of flashy dancing, people flashing people. Not in this chat. But anyways, there's the link. If I know you, come on up. If I don't, you got to turn your camera on so we can see you. If I don't know you, Hey Trish, how you doing? Good to see you. Happy hump day. How has your week been so far? So I want to talk to you guys about some good things that's happening. This channel, I just got to the 2,000 hour watch time for this channel. So at the halfway point, thanks to all the gems watching this content over here. I thank y'all so much. Hey, Lisa, I hope you're having a great work day. Yes, so I'm excited about that. It's hard to get those 4,000 watch hours. And finally, we're at the halfway point. So I'm setting a goal of December to have all my watch time. Hey, Sylvie on the go. How are you? Welcome in. I put the link in the chat for anybody who wants to come up. Not anybody, but as long as you're, not crazy. Yeah, I don't want any flashers over here. So, yeah. So, you're doing your thing, though. I'm trying, Sylvie. I'm trying. So, okay, let me tell you about this one story. So, y'all know that in this area, well, you may not know because you don't live in Florida, but those of you who live in Florida, they're closing down a lot of stores. So they're closing some Walmarts, they're closing Bed Bath and Beyond. There's like 4 or 5 places that are closing in my area, and I feel sad for all those employees because it's like what they said, like 20,000 people will be laid off in the next maybe 2 or 3 months. And that is scary to me to know that, your job isn't secure. I guess no job is secure, but I hope the people who are going to be laid off, they're going to be okay. They said some Walmarts were going to be closing, some Bed Bath and Beyonds, and what else? Bed Bath and Beyond, Walmart, and some other store. I can't remember. I am well. How are you? I am busy, but not as busy. So I get to work on recording some content. Awesome, Trish. I hope you get to soon. Hey, the word. Welcome. How are you doing? Happy hump day. Hump day. I'm so relieved that there's only 2 more days left for the work week because I don't know what I would do if I had to deal with 3 or 4 more. I would probably lose my mind. I don't know. I want to say, like, this may get me some whatever side eye or something, but what is it with people that don't want to work? People don't want to work, and it's irritating me on my job. Hey, Edward. How you doing? Hey, April Showers. Good to see you guys. Welcome to come up on the panel. I'll put the link in again. Why is it that people don't want to work? I feel like I'm a person, I work really hard. I'm definitely a hard worker. I have 2 part-time jobs. I got my business that I'm running. Plus I have my family life. Plus I have 5 YouTube channels. Not one, not two, not three, not four. I have 5 YouTube channels, 2 part-time jobs, 1 side hustle. And these people don't want to work 1 full-time job. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe people don't need money like I do, but I like my coin. Thank you, Trish. Yeah, it's one of those what you call it, that I downloaded on Google. If you just go to your Google and you type in free backgrounds, this is one of the pictures that came up. So I chose it. And I chose it because this is in a loving memory of my dear mother, who is no longer with me in life, but she's always with me in spirit. So I was going to make a video. I'm working on a vlog that I'm making about her, but May 2nd is a really hard day for me, which will be this coming Tuesday. Yeah. On May 2nd, 2016, I lost my mom. And then May 2nd, 2016, I lost my mom. And May 2nd, 2020, I lost my brother. So it's like the same day, but different years. So it's like that. The pain of May 2nd, it triggers me for my brother and my mom. So it's a bit much. So I don't know about if y'all will see me Tuesday on YouTube. I'm just going to take a mental health day. The pandemic has spoiled many. Why would people work if they can get a check sent into them? You're right, James. I guess that's what it is, but maybe I'm old-fashioned, old school. I like to have my own coin. I like to see that I work hard and this is my reward for my hard work. Not that I wouldn't like somebody to give me some money, because that would be nice, but I like knowing that I work hard and that here is the results of my hard work. I don't know. That's just me. But like people on the job, they come, they work 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, get 1 paycheck, and then they quit. I don't know. Maybe some people live with their parents and they don't have responsibilities. Maybe some people just don't have a hard work ethic. Maybe the job that they signed up for, it turns out to be not what they wanted it to be. But I don't know. Hey, Bree. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. How are you and the kiddos? I lost my aunt and grandmother on July 23rd. The same day, Lisa? I'm so sorry. My condolences with you and your family. Yeah, it's tough. So that's why for me, anytime like leading up to May 2nd, I can feel the sadness come down on me every year. And I don't try to. It's not something you're feeling, but it's like you rehash it all over again. But I'm doing much better than I was. At least now I can talk about it. I can talk about it now. Like maybe 2 years ago, I would not be strong enough to talk about it. Hey, Anthony. Yes. I think I'm hoping that I'm going to be back to this normal 2 p.m. routine. Hopefully. Yes, that's good to hear, Bree. I see you doing your thing over there on your channel. Oh, different years. Also, almost the same thing like me, Lisa. Different years, but the same day. My condolences to you. Having to depend on the government for your well-being is not good. Listen, Edward. I saw that for years because I had my dad was a retired police officer, and my mom had to retire after she had a open heart surgery. And I saw like how it is when you're working on a fixed income. There's nothing like having your own coin coming in, because that little means isn't going to do it for you. Thank you, James. Yeah, people won't work. What is that about? I'm a hard worker. I like my coins. I like having my own coins. Thank you for thumbsing it up. And thanks everybody who's thumbsing it up. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. My condolences to all in pain due to the loss of a loved one. Amen. Amen, Miss B. And how are you doing? Happy Wednesday to you. Yeah, it's a tough thing. People don't like to talk about, death, but it's a real thing. But at least now I can talk to y'all. Like, I think even last year and the year before, I couldn't even talk about it without bawling my eyes out. So I know that my heart is healing, even though it's tough. So I just want to encourage somebody who's struggling right now. Oh, April Showers is here. Sylvie says the struggle is real. Hey, Miss April.
Hey, Marlene, and everybody in the chat and in the bushes and
Hey, Bush babies.
everything. I understand your pain. My mom died April 28th.
Mm,
Her birthday is May 1st, and then Mother's Day.
mm,
No matter what I do, I done took trips around this time. I always go. I be a
mm.
little sad,
Yeah. And,
and
and and that's what you've tried staying
I've
busy.
tried to do everything I can,
Hmm.
and I still end up being sad.
Yeah.
And I know my mother wouldn't want me to be sad. She
Of
would be
course
like, "Girl,
not.
but it's just something with us, especially mama. I
Yeah.
don't know about y'all, but I know some of us have had the world's best moms that have loved us unconditionally, that have rooted for us, that have cheered for us, that
Mm,
understood pain that nobody could understand but a mother.
mm. Wow. See,
And
Miss. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss April. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
if you have that type of mom, mom's gonna love you no matter what, and they gonna defend you. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
gonna mute
it's a
my mic.
tough thing. Oh, go ahead, Miss April. I thought you were done.
Oh no, I just said I was gonna mute my mic while you talk.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Um, so for me, it's a completely different love that I have for my mother and my father because I think me and my mom were so much similar in personality. Like my mom has always been a grinder and a hustler like me, two, three jobs, all of that stuff. And I think we always had bumped heads. And it wasn't until I became an adult that we started to, learn to get along and to talk to each other like, yeah, I know you're my mother, but I'm grown now. So we had to come to that sort of relationship for her to stop talking down to me like I was 2 years old. So that took a lot of work. So me and my mom's relationship wasn't very good until I got older in life. But before my mom passed, we had a really tight relationship. But for me, the hardest is my dad because I'm a daddy's girl 100%. Even though my father is not with me, my father is always with me. I'm always going to be daddy's girl. And I'm telling you that I guess this is how maybe some people how they're close with their mother, but for me, it's my dad. My dad is my world, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for him. It's hard. It's so hard because it's like sometimes you want to reach out and be like, I want to talk to my daddy, or sometimes you're like, I want to talk to my mama, or even sometimes I say I want to talk to my brother because I told you I lost my mom and my brother on the same day but different year. My mom was 2016 and my brother was 2020. And I was like, sometimes it's like, I don't know if y'all have ever done it, but it's like sometimes when you're going through something, I pick up the phone and be like, I got to call, I need to talk to my brother. And then I'm like, dang, what you doing? He's gone. Or sometimes I'm like, I need to, like, I've even been in the car driving, like I'm going to my mama's house. And I'm like, girl, mama is gone. Woo! Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, gratitude kind of love. Yeah, I love my mama. Don't get me wrong. But it was a different, I think I'm like that. I'm like my mom in that way that I'm sort of like a bulldog. I'm very aggressive when it comes to my business. And I'm grateful that my mom taught me that. Like, don't wait for nobody to get your money. You go get your paper. Don't wait on no man. Don't wait on no whatever. You get that for yourself. Put your business in order. And it's nice if you happen to be in a good relationship and y'all could work together and work things out. But I'm not waiting on nobody to get my paper. This is my personal view. I'm not telling anybody to feel this way, but that's how I was raised. So, me and my mom always butt heads because my mom was old school, but also aggressive. See, I'm aggressive, but I don't believe I'm old school because I don't believe in sitting down and waiting for somebody to help me. And I guess that's how me and my mom differed. And we would always butt heads because she'd be like, "Oh, you can't do that. You gotta wait for the guy. You gotta wait for the man." But I gotta remember my mom's age. She was 80 when she passed away. So they were a little different. They went by roles in a relationship. And I don't believe in roles in a relationship. So, me and my mom had to come to what is it, a fork in the road to say, I respect your opinion and I want you to respect mine. So that took a long time. Like, me and my mom was going at it. And she would say little things to, like, oh, you're like, basically, you're not a good woman because you won't do this. And I would be saying the same thing. You're not good because you won't do this. Like, you got to be open minded, but we got to stop putting jabs on family members and even our close friends, because we got to let people be who they are. Not everybody wants the same things, you know? And I had to learn that too. I had to understand my mom grew up in a different time period. She's seen different things, and that's how she wanted to have her relationships. But I had to also tell my mom, this is how I feel, and you have to respect me because I'm not a child anymore. So I don't know if anybody has gone through this or is going through this with family members, that they, once you grow up, they're still looking at you like you're a little kid. So it can be difficult. It can be difficult navigating, relationships with your family members, with friends, especially if maybe you've done things in the past or maybe you weren't mature. I can say that 100%. I can say that. Uh, yeah, everybody talking to each other. I can relate. I was really close to my parents as well. I even dream about them from time to time. I'm sorry for your loss too, James. Yeah, it is tough. Hey, Urban. Good to see you. Welcome in. I went through it so much. I moved away from my siblings. Wow. Yeah. That's a whole nother chat. That's a conversation that I would have to have on my podcast channel because it's a deeper thing. I had to move. I had to, well, not move, but I had to cut off siblings for many reasons. So if y'all want to know about that, I'll talk about that on my podcast channel. I don't want to bring no dark things over here. I try to bring positive things over here and upliftment, encouragement, happy things. So I just want to say shout out to everybody who's struggling right now. I know there's a lot of people who in the chat watching on the replay, people who are subscribed to my channel, people who are not subscribed to this channel, that they're going through things. Everybody's going through and struggling with something. If it's not grieving, it's something. It's financial problems. It's dealing with your kids. It's dealing with your job. It's your home. It's something. It's your health. Everybody's struggling with something. The message is for you to keep your head up. Whatever you're going through, keep your head up. Because I do. I'm being honest with you. There's some days I don't want to keep my head out. Like the other day, I felt like I was under this dark cloud. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, and you feel like no matter what you do, like that dark cloud keeps following you, like people not treating you right. And I saw somebody earlier put here in the chat that they like to work, but they aren't getting what they're worth. I don't know who said that, but Somebody in the chat said that. And I can't find it. Oh, here it is. It was James. He says, I love working too, but I hate not getting paid what I'm worth, but I still get up and make things happen the best I can. Yeah, I understand that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm grinding with my own business, because I don't want for the rest of my life. Okay, Miss April, thank you so much for supporting. I had to move because I can be really stupid when I am pushed too far. The best thing I knew to do was to move. It's all good, James, and it's a good thing that you are mature. When I would say, not right after high school, but it was like sometime in my 20s, I got really like stupid and ignorant. Um, I don't know. I became like, I wouldn't even call it petty. I was just in a really angry, space in my life, and I was just mad at the world, and I didn't care, and I was nasty. And after that, I decided like one day it was time for me to stop being angry. And I went and got some therapy. And I'm glad that I got better up here before I lost my parents, because I can't imagine being messed up in the mind and then losing your parents, because it does take time to adjust to growing up, changing your attitudes. So when people say people can't change, it's not true. I hear people say that all the time, that you can't change, but you can. I'm proof of that. I used to be one of the angriest, mean spirited. I would fight anybody. I fight your mama, I fight your daddy, I fight your brothers. I was just such an angry, mean person. And I feel like right now, if you knew me back then, you wouldn't recognize me now, because now I feel like I have so much peace in my life. Like, I don't like arguing. I'm not combative anymore. I think because I've dealt with my issues, and I think I'm saying this to tell people, tell everybody who's listening to this, if you don't like something about yourself, it is possible to change it. It is possible to change it. I'm proof of that. You don't have to be angry, bitter, nasty, no matter what has happened to you, no matter what it is that you have done, no matter what it is that you have been through. You have the ability to be happy in your life. You don't have to be around negative and dark people. You can walk around with a smile on your face. If you don't like your work, you can start your own business. I'm proof of all of that. If you want it, you can get it, but you got to put in the hard work. And that's where I had to go in my life. I had to go through a really dark period for me to say, I want better for my life. I don't want to be that. I always said I didn't want to be a person like 70, 80 years old, sitting in a rocking chair, you know, snapping at everybody because I didn't work on myself. James says, I was like that when I lost my dad. Yeah. Well, when I lost my dad, I just had got to the point where I had healed, because my dad passed in 2016. And when my dad died, I had just finished therapy, like maybe 3 or 4 months. And like, I felt like right after my therapy, I was in such a good space in my life. Like, I was happy. I had good relationships with my mom and dad. I had great friends. And then it was like I lost my dad. 6 months later, I lost my mom. And I felt like I went through this spiral of loss and tears and pain, and people backstabbing me. Like, everything was happening to me from 2016 to 2020. And that's why I said I had to do a shift. I had to make myself happy. Yes. So anybody who out there who needs to hear what I'm saying right now, if you don't like your life how it is, you can change it. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter how, you don't have experience, or you want something that may seem far-fetched to other people. People say, oh, how can you do that? Or you're too old to go to school. If you really want to do something, you can do it. Another thing y'all don't know in the background, I'm also working little by little, inching my way up to my bachelor's degree. But I believe in making things happen for myself, because I want, at the end of the day, to, when I close my eyes, and I'm no longer here, I want people who knew me to say, Marlene, she was this way, but she changed, but she made herself happy and she forgave and she's not bitter. Yeah, I can be petty. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I can be petty with the best of them, but I'm not angry anymore. And I feel good to be in that space in my life. Marlene, I miss my daddy. I was a daddy's girl too. I lost my sister years ago. We were 1 year apart. We did everything together, even college. My first friend and best friend. I miss her. Oh, Trish, I'm so sorry for your loss. There is there is no pain like when somebody's close to you, and it doesn't matter if it's your family member or if it's a friend, because sometimes can friends can be closer to you than a family member. So, whatever it is that you're going through, Trish, anybody who's dealing with loss right now, keep your head up and keep going, because that's what they would want you to do. Keep up your good work here on your channel. Thank you, Dawn, and welcome. A&E Party Solutions, keep up the good work. Thank you so much, and welcome to the channel. I see some new people in here today. Miss April, you're back?
Yes, I'm back. I had to go downstairs and get a package.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 So go ahead,
Grief
Miss
is
April. I'm going
something
to mute
else.
myself.
Yeah. Grief is something. Get some counseling. Um, if needed. I did get counseling. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but grief. Oh my goodness, it will take a toll on you. And so just get some counseling if you can, because our loved ones, they've gone on. They don't want us to be sitting around here sad. I think it's so hard, especially if you were truly loved by these people, if you had great relationships and they meant so much to you. And I know sometimes I just had to be thankful that I had my parents. I lost my dad when he was 60, my mom at 74. So I just had to be thankful that the good Lord gave them to me for that long of a time. So that helps me a lot now. So I'm going to mute my mic now.
Okay. Wow, Miss April, that's a people, I feel like I've been I feel like in the beginning of my life, I felt like I didn't need my parents. I don't know what that was inside of me, like the hustle in me. I felt like I wanted to do everything by myself. I wanted to be independent. And the older that I got, I realized how much I needed my parents. So I'm grateful that I healed those things before they left, that they were able to see me like mature and grow up and all of those things. But it's tough, like when you have two people who have similar personalities, like with my mom, or even I would say like siblings. Sometimes siblings can clash and your personalities can be either too alike or too far apart that you can't deal with each other. So you just got to do what's best for you. That's what I will say. You got to do what's best for you. And for me, the best thing that I could do is separate myself from certain people in my life that are toxic. And coming up on this time of the year, like next week, is going to be tough, like from Tuesday, because those of you who don't know the story, 2016, I'm sitting at work. Um, the day before, my mom had called me and said, "Oh, I got a doctor's appointment," because my mom had heart problems. So, she was just going for her annual checkup. So my brother went with her to go get her checkup. And then I would say maybe about 2 o'clock, my brother said, things are not good with mom, but I didn't really understand. You know what, like you're working. I just thought my mom was like giving him a hard time at the doctor's office, not knowing that my mom's heart had stopped and she was coding. So I went and I took a break, maybe like 15 minutes later, because I was really in the middle of my work day. And I went and I took the call, like, what is it? kind of with an attitude talking to my brother. I feel I've apologized since to my brother, but like when you're in your work, I'm like, I'm at work. Like, why are you calling me? And then he was telling me everything that was happening. And then it started to be group texts like everybody needs to come to the hospital. So I didn't think it was that. I was basically saying to myself, I'm just going to wait until 5 o'clock and I'll be there after, work is over. But I went and told my boss and she was like, if they're saying come to the hospital, you should leave. So my sister, my niece, we all made our way up to the hospital. And I'm so glad I did at that time because this was before she had passed away. And it was like everybody was there and they were like, it was not good. So I got my chance to talk to her, hold her hand. And then when I mean, like after everybody had came to see her, then my mom went. I feel like she gave everybody an opportunity to say goodbye, which that's a no, that's amazing to me that she hold on waiting because your daughter's stubborn. She's like, where is my daughter? So I'm grateful for that. So I'm glad that I had that kind of closure with my mom. And for those of you who haven't had closure, because with my brother passed away in 2020 during COVID. He had a stroke. And back in 2020, that's just when like COVID was like really gearing up and we weren't allowed to visit in the hospital. We weren't allowed to have a gathered funeral or memorial service. They wouldn't let anybody get together. Like, I think they only let 3 people go in at a time. And of course, because my brother was married, it was, of course, first priority is his wife and his kids. So all the siblings and friends, we were all left out. So I'm trying to find a way still to deal with, losing my brother. That's tough. So
Well, it's still not too late to do a celebration of his life.
yeah, I know. But what I want to do is because it's in Jamaica, I want it to be something to where I go down there because I've even tried it here to have a service here, but it doesn't feel the same because it's not home for me. Like I feel like I need to be home, where he lived and around his wife and kids, so I can have that closure.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Okay, that
And
would
I
be
haven't been
nice.
able to do that because with COVID and everything and not working and lots of things, and it wasn't safe to travel. I just was like, no.
Yeah, people don't realize COVID destroyed a lot of people. A lot of people just with the losses of death, financial, and everything. I mean, COVID did a number. Did a
Yeah,
number.
it did a number on a lot of people because it was like, oh my God, like certain people lost their jobs,
Mm-hmm.
businesses shut down, people got sick, people passed away. And I feel like during that time period when all of this is happening, I feel like all those people, I think it's probably thousands of people around the world that have never got a chance to grieve if they lost somebody. And my whole family is included in this because got family that is like in England and Jamaica and here in Florida and New York and Mexico, and all of us, we've kind of been grieving separately and still haven't got to grieve together. Like when when uh when you are having a funeral service and they're like, you can't, there's going to be like no physical contact. That's what a memorial service is. That's the time where you need the hugs and the kisses and everything, the
Exactly.
support for your heart. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I'm just sharing transparently how I, how I feel. I
Yeah,
don't know how to
and
cope with
I my cousins, their grandmother passed, and that haunts them too. Like their grandmother passed up there at the hospital. They weren't able to see her to say their goodbyes. Yeah, a lot of people are really suffering through that. That was traumatizing for some people, you know. And I'm sure it was traumatizing for those that lost loved ones, and the people that was going through it too. I mean, nobody was able to come visit them or see them.
Mhm.
You just, they were just gone.
And because I work in healthcare, I used to see all those people who live like in nursing homes and facilities. They were shut off from their family. They could have no visitors for almost 3 years.
Yep. We had a nursing home here in Joliet, Illinois, where half of the staff and the people in the nursing home passed away.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't really know. I can't really give you an answer to how to cope with it because I'm still struggling too on my own. But my thing is, we did have a virtual service for my brother, and maybe last year we went to the park and we did a balloon release for him. Um, I've wrote him letters, but it just doesn't. I don't know. I just still feel like I don't feel the closure yet, even though it's been almost 2 years. Hey, ALS, how are you doing? Welcome. Yep. So that's my story. That's how I feel. I don't know if anybody else has felt that sort of. I feel like when something happens to you, especially something like grief, that's already a hard and a tough thing. But
Yeah, it is.
but
It
when
is.
it's grieving and then it's like you can't grieve because you have to be isolated because a major thing happened. It's not anybody's fault. It was just the situation of life at that time. So I was just like, how? But afterwards, the after effects now, it's like I still feel like it's still raw and new, even though he died 2 years ago. I still feel like I haven't got closure for that yet. No, it's not 2 years. If he died it's coming up 3 years.
Three
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I still
Yeah.
feel and it's 3 years. So like, and another thing, I'm all amped up right now, but that's the reason why I quit my job because my job says that's not considered an essential family member to get time off for grieving. They say your brother is not they only count your mom, your dad, spouse, and kids.
Yep. No siblings.
Yeah, they say a sibling is
And
not
back in the day, it
time
used to
off
be
for grieving.
everybody.
Did you say something, Miss April?
I said, when I first started working, they gave you 3 days paid time off for parents, siblings, in laws. Yeah, but not
No,
anymore. No,
they
it's just
changed
the
the
parents.
regulation. I can say in my state, they changed the regulation because um yeah, check this out. Okay, on the same job, because you remember I told y'all that I lost my mom and dad 6 months apart. So when my dad passed away like on I would say a Wednesday, and I was like, I'm not coming in. My dad passed away. And that was Wednesday, okay? So Friday, check this out. Friday, they called me and said, when are you coming back? Two
What?
2 days later.
Well, that's because they bury theirs fast. We don't do that. We
I
want to.
don't do that. I don't do that. Not in my culture. Being Jamaican, we don't even bury the people until a month later. It's like, what are you talking about when I'm coming back? So that was the job. That's how like you see red flags. I already was thinking I should have quit. So I went back and I was still there. Like I'm just sitting in the office, like just staring into space because imagine my dad passed on Wednesday and I'm back to work on Monday. That doesn't even make sense, does it? So that happened. Then 6 months later on the same job, the same thing happened, what I was talking about earlier, where my brother called. And then my mom did wind up dying. So within 6 months, I lost my mom and my dad on the same job. And they both told me each time was only 3 days they gave. My mom passed, same thing. My mom passed on a Wednesday too. And they wanted me back to work on Monday.
Wow. Wow.
And I was like, and I wanted to walk away, but I couldn't because I was in a predicament right then where I had to have this type of income. I didn't have support to help me. So it's like I can't just walk away. It's
Right.
not that I didn't want to, because people say just quit. So I knew that was the time when I started my side hustle, my business, because I said I'm going to need to walk away from this really soon. So that's when I put my foot on the gas. I was like, I need to start my business so I can walk away from a job altogether. And I eventually did.
That was nice that you were able to start your own business.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Because I'll just say it like this, Miss April in the chat. If you think that there's things that you don't like about the job, it always gets worse before it gets better. Job don't care about you. Job don't
They
care
should.
when you don't feel good or you're sick. I knew somebody at the job, they had cancer and they still wanted them to go to work after they had a chemo treatment. And everybody who knows
Are
anything
you
about that,
serious?
you're sick. Yeah, that was the
Well,
most
you know, I
insensitive
done went
job
through
I've ever
cancer twice. I've beaten breast cancer 2 times.
that was the most insensitive job I've ever had. And the whole thing about this, guess what, guys? It was a job in healthcare. How are you talking about healthcare and you don't even care about your employees? Oh, it was
Wow.
disgusting. It was disgusting. I was like, I got to get out of here really soon.
Wow.
Yeah, I did wind up quitting my job, but I had to make sure because my mom always told me from I was a little kid that don't walk away from a job until you have 6 months of income saved up. So once I got my 6 months of income, I was like, she's out.
Mhm.
I was like, I don't think I only made it to 5 months, and I was like, I can't take it anymore because I was still, it was only 5 months after my mom had died, and I still would go in the bathroom every day at work and cry every day. And my friend was like, "Girl, you're gonna have a nervous breakdown. You need to take some time off." But I couldn't. You know how like your hands are tied. You want to do something, but you can't afford to. And I was
Right.
like, it'll never happen to me again. After that, I made completely different things because you never plan for somebody dying or something happening to you. So I was like, that's when I really went hard to save money, to open up, life insurances. I think that, how like you can use your situation to make you better. And I think losing my parents caused me to be better because I started to think about, you know, that's not right, and people shouldn't treat me that way. But I said to myself, but what are you going to do about it? I had to do something
Well,
about it.
Marlene, when I lost my mom 2014, a month after I lost my mom, is when I found out I had breast cancer.
Wow. Mm,
And about time we did all the tests and I started all of my treatments, like my body gave out
mm,
and I couldn't walk. And they said I probably had a nervous breakdown
mm-hmm.
that, but it was in my body. So yeah, girl, I was in a bad type of way. And I was like, oh, I needed my mom so much then, you
Yeah.
know.
So
Yeah.
how did you deal with that,
So
Miss April? Because
yeah,
when I lost my mom, I was in such a dark space because even though I got to see her when she had died, I didn't have the close. You know, how, like when somebody is dying, you know what I'm saying? You have the time where you know they're dying. Like when my dad, because my dad died from cancer. So I had about 6, 7 months to prepare my heart for him dying. But when it was like I'm at work and then she codes and then she's gone, it was like I didn't prepare. Like there's nothing that prepares you to get those words when they said, you know, she's not going to make it, you know? And I was like, oh my God. I think I had passed out too. It's a long story.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But we had time to prepare because my mom had lung cancer, and it went pretty fast. And I can truly say, me and my siblings, we all was all on one accord and everything. But yeah, we had a little bit time to prepare and you know talk, and I knew all of her wishes and everything. But
Hmm.
like I say, when I found out I had cancer, I just was like, I need my mama. Even the
Hmm.
second time when I had it, when they removed my breast, I was like, I need my mama. My mama would make sure I was eating good. She would be preparing my favorite meals for me and everything. But yeah, so at 60 years old, I still want my mama.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen, Miss April. Every time I get a cold, every time I have menstrual cramps, every time I get mad in my romantic relationship, I still want my mother. I feel like I turned 4 years old all over again. I was like, I want my mommy. I start crying.
Mhm.
I want my mommy.
Yeah, so you
I
know
don't know.
exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, like I
Mhm.
want my mama. Yeah,
Yeah, and there are times where I want my daddy. There's
yeah.
some things
Oh,
that
my
I want my
dad too.
daddy
I
for.
was a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some things I want my daddy for, and there's things I want my mom for. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, how do you fill in the void? How do you fill up that? Because I do feel like it's an empty space. You know, when people leave, it's like a hole inside of you, and it's hollow. And what do you do to fill that in? And I can understand that's the reason why people turn to substances, drinking. They develop bad habits. They start gambling, blah 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 blah, because you can do
Yeah,
that because
yeah.
you're in
It
so
can
much pain
easily
that you
be
just,
done.
like, who
Yes,
cares?
yes. Anything to numb the pain. And then, even like even if you have like a aunt or godparents and stuff, you tend to latch on them more, to fill that void. But then you find out, like, I can't, that they have kids, and then they're looking at you like, this is our mother. So then you somewhat back away.
Yeah.
So that's what I had to do. Um, I
Hmm.
had to back away from my aunts, godparents, and different people because they still have their children. And
Hmm.
once you latch on to them, because everything I was doing for them, I would do for my parents. But
Hmm.
some people, they don't like it. Like you're trying
Yeah.
to take over their moms or their dads. So I had to stop doing that as much. And
Hmm.
I just
Yeah.
remember the good times because I'm not trying to take nobody's mom or dad from them, you know.
Yeah. Well, I feel like when I lost my mom and dad, I was so angry with the world. I was just like, I don't care. I feel like it was a good thing and it was a bad thing, Miss April on chat, when I lost my mom, because I felt like everything that I had been holding in, all of the resentment, the anger, the things that I wanted to say, but I didn't say. Once my mom and dad was gone, I felt like it was like a new me. Like I just started telling everybody how I felt. And when you did this to me, and I didn't like when you did that, and everybody was like, whoa. I felt like I went into an attack mode.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, being transparent and honest, I know that I was too aggressive, but I was angry and I didn't know what to do with all those feelings. Imagine losing your mom and dad in 6 months. I didn't
Mhm.
know what to do with all that pain. So I took it out on other people.
Yeah.
And I know it wasn't the right thing to do, but that's how I coped.
Mhm.
Everybody got my smoke. Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom, she lived at my sister's house, but my sister's house was so big, my mom lived in the basement, so she had her own quarters down there, her own
Mm-hmm.
kitchen, everything. And even when I would go over to my sister's house, and I would go downstairs, and I would just be crying. I couldn't even go over to my sister's house that much anymore. And another thing, um, a lot of people, I could remember telling my sister, like, are you sure you want mom, what we call her mom, you sure you want mom to pass here?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people can handle it and some people can't handle it, having their loved one die in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, no, she would be okay. Well, Lord hold, behold, they left the house. They moved. Actually, they moved to South
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, but she didn't want to live in her house anymore after my mom had passed. So
Yeah.
that's something for people to think about. If you want your loved ones to pass at your home, you think it might be a great idea, but then when it happens, it's not a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
When my dad passed away, my dad passed with hospice. So he waited. And that's the thing that like I'm gonna say that to my dad when I see him. I'm like, why did he waited until I was like, okay, dad, I'll see you in the morning. And he said to me, are you gonna be okay? And I was like, what you talking about? And I was like, I'll see you in the morning. And he said it again. He said, are you gonna be okay? And that's the last thing that he said to me. He was saying after my analogy of the situation is, are you going to be okay without me? That's how I took it. I don't know if that's the right way to think about it, but that's how he was asking, because we were really close, are you going to be okay? And I was like, yeah, I'll see you in the morning. But he was like, nah, you don't get it, I'm about to leave tonight.
mm. Do you think that they be knowing that they gonna leave, Marlene?
You know, that's a hard mm, that's a hard thing. I don't know, but I believe personally that my dad knew.
Okay,
I think he knew. I wouldn't say my mama knew. I don't think my mama knew, but I think certain people do know when they're going.
okay,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
Because if my mom had known, I know how my mom is. My mom likes to have things certain way. So I was like, nah, she didn't know because she was gone. So, but my dad, he knew because he said that to me. He was like, are you going to be okay? I was like, yeah, I'm going home to sleep. And he was looking at me like, girl, you don't get it.
hmm,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But they do have grief counseling, and then even having these type of conversations are helpful for those that have lost loved ones. Because I'm gonna tell you, on my maternal side, I have lost so many. Ooh, I'm telling you, it's just a heartache that
Mm-mm-mm.
I can't even explain. And but God has sent me other little angels, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for that. I am so thankful.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a family where you did everything together, travel, everything, like we
Mm.
did everything together. And so,
Yeah. So
yeah.
it's good when you because Nancy said her family, her somebody in her family before they passed, she said her dad asked her the same thing. But my dad didn't say that to, he only said it to me. And my family got mad when they said, well, why did he ask you if you're going to be okay? Why he didn't ask me? And I was like, what are you asking me for? You ask him. Take it up with him when you see him. But he asked me. And that was the last thing that he said. And it was like 15 minutes before I got home. They said, Dad is gone. Oh, I was so mad. I was like, he was waiting until I left.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because that's how my daddy was. I had took care of him. And when I was working the afternoon shift, when I got off work, I went straight over to my parents' house and stayed there. My mom went to work. When my mom got off work, I went to work. And the night that he passed was the night after 3 months. I finally decided to go somewhere with some friends.
Wow.
I was just so livid. It took me a while to get over that. And I kept saying, why wasn't I there? But then I had to think, well, maybe my daddy didn't want me there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to change my train of thought with thinking, no, your dad didn't want you to be there when he passed. But it took maybe 3 or 4 years before I even came to that conclusion. So
Mm.
so go get some type of counseling
Oh, I
because
have already, Miss April.
no, I'm just talking to the audience
Oh, okay.
because grief can take you out of here too. Yeah,
Mhm.
grief can take you out of here. Yeah,
Mhm. And I had to also learn that, you know, being a caregiver for my parents or just being a caregiver in general, you have to also learn that you got to have your own life. And once my parents were gone, I kind of felt a void for a long time because they were my whole life. Because it was like morning, do this for mom, do this for dad, do this, do this. And when I look back at all my notes and papers, because I still have them in my little file, I was like, when did I ever do anything for myself? I wasn't. So that can be, you can be burning the candle at both ends. That I do think it's important to be there and support people when they need you, but also you got to be there for yourself.
right, right. And if somebody else wants to help, let them. And then don't be surprised that a lot of people can help. Um, a lot of people cannot handle seeing their parents go down. They just can't. They can't do it. Uh, they're not built for it. But you were built for it, Marlene. So
I guess so, Miss April, obviously, because I didn't want it. My mom wanted me to take care of her, and so did my dad. And what I do as a job, I take care of people too. So it's just my role. It's just my role to be a support system for people, especially I have a very soft heart for the elderly, for special needs, and also people of domestic violence. Those are three things that I'm very adamant about. Mhm.
yeah,
I am.
that's great. And you're right, the elderly. But like I said, when it comes to parents, a lot of people they can't deal with it. And so God knows who the strong people are. And don't, I want to also tell this to people. What we do, we can't expect others to do or feel the
Mhm.
same way because they're individuals as well. And some people, they can't do it. They
Yeah.
can't see their mom or their dad get sick and going down. They just
Yeah.
can't do it. So don't be upset with them. Just
Yeah.
understand. Yeah.
But Miss April, to be honest with you, I was, and I told all my siblings, it's not that I expected them to be there and do the hands-on caregiving because I was doing that part. But it's very toxic to your spirit to have to carry some, like seeing somebody you love, and you see them, slowing down, or like they can't do what they used to. That's like heartbreaking to the spirit. And I feel like at least you could call and say, how are you dealing? How are you coping with? That's the part that I'm still having a hard time. Like, you never even said, but how are you, sis? Thanks so much for caring for mom and dad. They were just like, well, you're there. That's what you're supposed to do. And I was like, ugh, that's,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
so, it's so mean. I feel like that's a wound that will never heal inside of me. Like that to
Well,
me,
you
that's
will.
just
You're gonna
cruel.
you're gonna
That's
have to
cruel.
forgive them. You gotta forgive them. Yeah, you gotta forgive
I
them.
know. I
Yeah.
know I do, Miss April, but it to me that's cruel. If I'm telling you I'm struggling coping, and I told them, it's not that they didn't know. I said, "Hey, can you check on me and say how's everybody? How's everything going?" I'm not telling you come over here and taking care of them. I'm doing that, but at least you could say, is there anything I could do to support you? Or thank you so much for what you're doing. Nothing. They're just like, that's what you're supposed to do. That's your mother. It's like, that's my mother. That's your mother too.
Again, God gives the
I
greatest
I
battles
just
to his
blows
soldiers.
my mind. Blows
Yeah, to
my mind.
his soldiers.
I know.
You know.
I already know that,
Yeah.
I'm being prepared for something bigger in my life, for what I'm doing and going to school for, what I'm about to do transition into. So I got to be tough and stronger. But like that, mm-mm. Miss April, it's easy to tell people to forgive, but when something like that,
Oh, I know, cause
that's a deep,
honey, I'm mean and
hurtful wound
stubborn too.
to heal from.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, you have the right to feel the way you do. Oh, trust and believe me, me and my sister, we had some battles too now, you know.
Hmm.
We had some battles, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But your parents,
and I
your
and
your
I
parents,
understand. Go ahead, Miss
yeah.
April.
Your parents, they knew,
Hmm.
and your parents, they would want you to let it, find some type of peace with them. They
Yeah,
really would.
and I
They love you with a
and
strong
trust me, Miss
person.
April, I have tried. You know how like you're trying to be the bigger person. I said, okay, even though you're older than me, I'm going to show you how a mature person acts. So I said, I'm going to not talk about the past and start with today and just start checking on, hey, how you doing? How is everything going? And every time I would talk to them, it's just a negative environment, just negative, toxic. Why are you calling me? Oh, you care about me now? And it's just like, I was like, I can't take it. So for me personally, if somebody always makes you feel like you're nobody, I had to cut all of them off.
Well, Marlene, you know you were the baby now.
Hmm.
You was the baby. So
Yeah,
they saw the
I'm the
baby,
baby. So don't
but
you
they
think I'm
saw you
in
get
my right to say
everything.
I expect my older siblings to check on me and care for me? And I feel like, am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're not wrong in thinking that, but they're looking at you as you are the baby and you got everything that they couldn't get.
Mm-hmm.
All of this, girl, it be so much to all of that. I learned that going through a life coach training
Mm-hmm.
course. Uh, like, girl, people be having so many different type of hangups that you think is irrelevant, but it's important to them. But with you being the baby, they probably didn't get everything that they wanted. You got everything you wanted.
You
So,
know what, Miss April, I've told people this many a times. My older siblings had it way better than me. Way. When I say way better, they don't believe that, but they got the younger parents. They got the parents who could run with them in the park. I got the sick parents. My mom and my dad had me in their 40s. So by the time I got to be, 18, 16, my parents were ready to retire.
They not looking at it like that, girl. They're
Well,
not
I had to
looking at
tell
it
them.
like that.
I said you got to have the mom and dad who took you to the park, who ran around with you. I always had the mother who was, or the father that was sick or wasn't feeling well, and I need to take them to the doctor. They're not seeing that. They think, "Oh, I have it so good." They don't know it's two different worlds. Two different kids can have two different experiences. You had the young parent, I had the older parent. You didn't have to take care of mom and dad, but I do. And they think it's the way how it was when they were living with mom and dad. That's why I had to tell them, like, if you don't understand, mom and dad are sick. They don't want to hear that. Somebody saying drop the link. I already have the link in the chat. What am
We
I
got
missing?
somebody joining us. That's nice.
Uh, it is sad, Nancy, but you know what? I had to come to a realization within myself, and I had to come to peace with myself. You can't make somebody grow up. You can't make people do the right thing. You can't make people treat you a certain type of way. So when it comes to the point where I love them, but I had to say to myself, but I love myself more. And that means I have to cut them off because they're taking me down. That's what I had to do. Hey, DJ Ron. Hey, Deborah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and it's something, um, the way we get all wrapped up in things. Like I gave my mom a surprise. What was it, like 70th birthday party? And I got this photo album with all the pictures because I had a photographer there and everything.
Mm.
And I've been waiting on this photo album, Lord, for years, for my sister to give me the photo album. And I haven't gotten it, but you know what? She can have it. If you need to hold on to that photo album, have it. Because, of
Yeah.
course, we're 14 years apart.
Mm.
So, you know. So, what I'm saying is, I just stopped saying, where's my album at for the party I paid for my mother? you know.
For her mother, it's always their mother. And
No, 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 no. That's what I
that's
used to tell
unbelievable.
her. It was my party. I paid for everything. And I paid for this photo album that was like $300. Like, I want this photo album back. But you know what? I just said she can keep the album. She can keep the pictures. Because my mom had all of the pictures and stuff. Just keep it. I don't even care anymore. Keep it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know
So,
that's the hard part that I have found out. Let me see. Let me put the invite link in the chat. I think somebody wants to come up. The word, I think you got to put this one if somebody wants to come up. I don't know if that's the same one.
oh,
Not
yeah,
the,
because I shared the show. So people probably asking
yeah, you
from
got
that
to use the
channel too.
StreamYard
I
one.
always share the show. I should have asked your permission first.
Oh,
I'm
Miss April,
sorry.
you don't ever have to ask me for
Oh,
permission.
okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I usually ask. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, but
Mhm.
I feel like you have to say these things to get it off for your chest because if you don't,
Oh, yeah.
like one day I feel like I was, I'm telling you, Miss April, I believe it was something like something divine that entered because I got into it and the police were called. And if the person wanted to, they could have pressed charges and I could have ended up in jail. And I had to say to myself after that, ain't nobody worth you going to jail. You need to calm down. You need to calm
Yeah.
down. So I was lucky. I was
Girl, I done seen. I done seen where people die and they throw out everything. You might ask for an item, they rather throw it away than to give you the item.
Mhm.
Uh, I
Well,
done seen,
well, Miss April,
seen.
let me say something. When my parents died, I got rid of everything. I got rid of everything because what people don't understand is when you live with them, you're the one that has to see those items every day.
Right.
They don't have to see them. They come into the house and then they go back to where they live. Every time I would see my mother's cup or her sweater, it was too much for me.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's what I had to explain to them because they didn't understand. Oh, you look what you did, and you got rid of all mom and daddy stuff. Listen, when mom and dad was alive, you had an opportunity to be here with them, and you could have asked then. Now, everything that is in here is mine, and I choose to get rid of it. So, too bad, too
Did
sad.
you offer them the opportunity to come get some of the items?
Well, they were all here. They were all here,
And they didn't want to take
and
nothing,
they
but
didn't
when
want to
you
take
got
anything.
rid of it,
But
it
once I
was a
got rid of
problem.
everything, it was a problem.
Oh yeah, see that? Yeah, yeah,
Yep, 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 yep.
yeah. That's unfortunate that that's the way people are. Yeah.
They, you see, what I don't like, and I hate to say it this way, but people really show you who they are when somebody dies.
Mhm.
People really show they really show something when people you really find out the character of somebody, and it was like parents dying, and now you're gonna start taking jabs at your own sister. You're no good. You're this. You're that. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, so now I'm no good. Okay. But I was good enough before to take care of mom and dad. But now, because they left me stuff, now I'm no good. Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. The word. What are you saying I should do? Oh, maybe I
You
should
have to
pick.
pin that the link for StreamYard to
Okay,
your
hold on. Let me see if. Okay, I'm gonna get on my tablet and do it.
okay.
Hold on. So I'm on. You could keep talking. I
Okay.
gotta talk myself through this. Let
Okay.
me mute my mic.
So I had to come to the realization for myself that I can't make other people happy. I know I did a lot of moves when I was grieving that I'm not proud of. But when you're mad, you do stuff, and I feel like if they wanted to be, their that's their mama or that's their daddy, they should have been a daughter or a son at that time. And I'm not sorry for what I did. Maybe I should not have done it, but I'm not sorry because you can't have everything that you want how you want it. I don't believe in entitlement. You know, I worked hard for everything that I have. I went by the type of person, the way that I treated my parents. And then it's like now when they're gone, now you want to be grabbing everything. Like, I want mom's this, I want dad's this. Those material things aren't going to replace your parents. Hey, Robert, and hey to everybody who's in the chat. Thank y'all for rocking with me and Miss April. I really do appreciate it. And I would love if you would hit the like for me over here on this channel and hit Miss April's a like too. Yeah, you can't make people do right. And that's what I came to the realization of that, going through everything. And that's just a little taste. Yeah, I can't even open Pandora's box and tell you some of the things that happened and why I make the moves that I make in my life right now. Because when you go through certain things, guess what? It changes who you are. It really does. Hey, DJ Chuck, welcome. You should not be sorry what for. You did the right thing what others did not. See, and that's the thing that, like, it annoys me that after my parents passed away, that's when they wanted to find out about everything. And I didn't know they had this life insurance. Oh, I didn't know they had this. I didn't know they had that. Well, why, when they were alive, why you didn't ask those questions? And Golden Girl, Golden Girl just did a live stream talking about planning, planning for your future, like what is going to happen when you die, making plans, putting it in writing. So if you haven't seen that discussion that Golden Girl did, I would encourage you to go over, and it got me to thinking about some things too. Hey Shay Love, how are you doing? And there's the link. It got me to thinking about some things in my life, but like there is nothing like mortality. Once you find out that people are no longer going to be here, it's like, now, man, what am I going to do without them? And that's what it got to the point for me in my life. Once my parents were gone, I started thinking, what do I want to do in my life? And I never had thought that way before. When my parents were alive, they were my whole life. I took care of my mom and my dad, not saying that my brothers and sisters didn't, but I did it full time. So it really weighed on me. It really weighed on me. Yes, thank you, Miss April Showers. Never feel bad for giving flowers to loved ones when they're alive. Yeah, and I feel that way, James. I'm like, when they're gone, that's when they want to be like, oh, I didn't know dad used to do that. And oh, how come dad never told me that? And how come mom never did this? And for me, that's like toxic. Like it's draining. I don't want to talk about that anymore because I went through that for 7 years, taking care of them. Done. Thank you so much, FT, and welcome.
Okay, I have the link. It's pinned in my channel. If anybody would like to come up and talk to us, everybody's more than welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family
And these
seems.
type of
Oh, go ahead.
conversations are the type of conversations I like to have, Marlene.
Mm-hmm.
And so, maybe we can let people know, how
Mm-hmm.
we were feeling at that time, or why things was did the way they was did. I can remember my sister, my mom calling me, telling me that she had a doctor's appointment. Now I'm knowing I was with my mom, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember her making an appointment, but my mom was so adamant. So when I called my sister and said, Mom said she got an appointment on this day. I know when all of her doctor's appointments is. She didn't have no appointment. I'm like, now wait a minute, hold up. She was calling me. God dang it. So I'm mad now. Cause I'm not saying that you didn't keep up with her doctor's appointments, but my mom called me telling me she had an appointment. I'm calling you because who knows? Maybe they called her. I don't know. But she called me and I'm just calling you to double check. But right away, she got in defensive mode. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, you know, that person that's right there with them, um, you know, we don't try to belittle you, but I was just double checking. But like I said, that's, my sister got offended when I called her to just double check. But that's what they do. So
Yeah.
they go, yeah. And
Yeah.
never once, I mean, I was proud of my sister the way she took care of my mom. I really was. I was very proud of her. And so I guess
Yeah.
she had in her mind, I didn't think she was doing a good enough job, and that was never the case. So I think when I called her asking her about this doctor's appointment, that my mother called me telling me she had an appointment. I guess she thought I felt like she wasn't doing a good enough job, but it wasn't like that at all. But like I said, my mom called me. But she got all smart with me, and of course I got smart back, 'cause I am the
Mhm.
oldest and the firstborn child. And baby,
Wow.
you look up and she'll be right here with me now. When I call and ask you something, you better answer. Don't be getting smart with me. So
Mm-mm.
that's about how that went. Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Don't get
um,
smart with me because I'm calling you double checking something that my mother had called me telling me I was just calling. You get smart with me, oh no. Uh-uh. No. Oh no. Uh-uh.
yeah, I don't like those things though.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like those
yeah.
things. It's no reason to be disrespectful. And I find that a lot of times in families, people take one another for granted, and they don't treat them like they're a human being. And we sometimes don't treat we wouldn't do those same things to people that we wouldn't know, but we'll do that to our family. It's like you hurt the ones that love you the most. And that doesn't make
Hmm.
sense to me.
Yeah, why is that?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is it that the people that love us the most, we tend to hurt them? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's just I that's not a question that I have an answer to. I don't know why people do the things that they do.
Yeah.
I
So,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. I can't answer that because some people are not mature, and that's all I can say. It takes maturity. I always have said for people, talk to people, but don't give orders,
Yeah.
because it's no point to be so disrespectful.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, we survived. We survived, and like I said, I'm just at the point in my life where I said, well, the good Lord done left me here being a two-time breast cancer survivor. I
Mhm.
don't care. I mean, keep the photo album, keep the pictures. I don't care. You know, uh,
Yeah.
it's not even important. You know,
Yeah.
if you need to hold on to that, hold on to it. You know, uh,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I had a, I had my mom longer. I was her firstborn child, and so I was there through everything with them. Yeah,
Mhm.
but what I don't like is like when my son's father passed, and I had to let my son know, I blame your father. You do not leave money for another sibling for them to give to another person, to their kids. Like,
Mm.
no, he could have put y'all name down on the insurance policy. That's your daddy's fault. That's not your uncle's fault. Even though he did have him and his sister name on his 401k plan. But for that life insurance, he could have did the same thing,
Mhm.
you know, because you wasn't there. You don't know what the conversation was. And so when they do that, then obviously he didn't want you to have nothing but what was in that 401k plan. So,
Right.
you know,
Mm.
so to people, if you have multiple kids, please put something in writing and let the other kids know or have it notarized And then even if you leave it to one, people still gonna have the notion, oh, they probably took them and had all this stuff changed when they was sick. There ain't no way they wouldn't have left me nothing. No, they leave stuff to the person who they think is the most responsible person,
Right.
you know.
And
But we want
when
to,
they make a decision, they're getting mad at you.
yeah,
Like you don't have anything to do with it.
mm-hmm,
But they don't
yeah,
want to hear that, especially like in my case, for me being the youngest, like, oh no, mama wouldn't do that to me because I'm the oldest. That don't mean nothing.
man,
They don't
yeah,
want to accept it.
right, yeah. But
Mhm.
I just think the parents know who's gonna be the stronger person,
They
who's
do.
gonna be able to handle that business, and who's gonna make sure that it gets done. It's nothing personal. Parents know their kids. They know their kids.
Right.
They know us better than we know ourselves. Never forget that. Your parents know you. They know you. They know who the weak one is. They know who the strongest one is. They know the one that's going to get the business done. They know all of this.
Hmm.
And so if they leave something, it's not like they were trying to not include you. They just know who would get the business done.
They
And
know.
then they pray, that you do the right thing. And if you do the right thing, that's all you can do. If you done your part, that's all you can do. That's
Yeah.
all you can do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's what I had to just learn to agree to disagree with my siblings because they're going to feel how they feel and I'm going to feel like I feel. So I just said I'm going to move on. I'm not going to talk about that anymore because it becomes a cycle of you're always talking
Yeah.
about the same things all the time.
Yeah.
and and like that's draining because after my mom died that's all they wanted to talk about for like maybe 9 or 10 months and I was over it, because I'm right there. I was living in the house. It's like I don't want to talk about that anymore. Can you stop asking me about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
I
understand,
you
and
know,
I
I'm
understand
I'm
they want
praying
to.
for family restoration. Were you guys close before this happened, Marlene?
Well, with some, I was never close. For me, the older siblings were always close together, and then it's like the first five kids were close, and the last five of us are close.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because all of
So
y'all sort of grew up together. Yeah.
yeah, so it
Mm.
was like they it's like all the older five, like they all turned against the younger five and we're like, what did we do to y'all? Like they just became, I know I was angry because I miss my parents, but they turned into being like accusatory. You're no good and you stole this and you did that. And like, why are you doing this? Spreading
Yeah.
lies and rumors about different ones. I was
But
like, I
then
don't like that.
but they ain't saying what the parents did for them that you don't even know about. Well, they might have done co-signed, they got loans and then helped them out. They ain't saying what the parents did for them. You know,
Hmm.
they trying to uh, just talk about like you were the only person that they ever helped. Oh yeah, girl, they the man manipulative games. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it'll be some family restoration. It might take years, but it'll happen.
You think
Yeah.
so,
And
Miss
if it
April? I
don't,
don't think so.
and I was gonna say it, if it don't, girl, don't stress yourself worrying about it because you gotta live your life. And I'ma tell you, all of that stuff, that's why I say I had to let it go with the photo albums and all of that stuff, 'cause it just leaves you all stressed and mad and angry. And I said, you know what? They can have it. She can have that album. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not getting ready to stress. So
Mhm.
I had to, you had to let things go for your peace of mind.
Right.
And so I'm just telling you from what I went through, and I don't mind sharing my experiences. I
Yeah.
had to let it go. Yeah.
And I'm glad that you did, Miss April. It takes a
Hmm.
lot. It takes a lot to let things go.
Yeah. So, but trust me, with the album, it's only been 8 years. It took 8 years
It took
because
8 years.
every time somebody's like, all them pictures and albums, I'ma mail them to you. I'ma mail them to them. I still ain't got them. And so it was like, you know what? Just keep it. Just keep it. Because I ain't got them yet. You can keep them. You know.
Hmm.
So,
Well, I was that way with certain things that happened, and when they would say certain things, because you got to understand that everybody is operating from their level of personal truth. So maybe that was their relationship with mom or dad, and I would be like, no, it wasn't. Mom was good to everybody, but I can't say that because I wasn't born when they were. So I was like, okay, I just say okay, and I listen to them now. I don't argue with them anymore.
yeah. Yeah. And you have to do it. That statement, when they say you have to let things go for you, and you really do. Because I just thought she can have the album. You know,
Yeah,
she can have that photo album that I paid for. She can have it.
yeah.
So, I can't show the album to anybody and say, look, I had my mama's surprise party and all the people that came and everybody that was there. I mean, it was a nice album that was done. It was professionally done. I'm trying to think. I think that I paid 300 or 500 because I know I had to give them some money down for it. But it's nice. It's really nice.
Wow.
But hey, but I let it go for my own peace of mind.
Mhm.
So when they say let things go for you, just let them go. Maybe she
Yeah.
needs that album for her.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know what I had to wind up doing because we had a situation with that with pictures and stuff. I went and I made copies of that same album and I made one so everybody could get the same album.
Mhm.
Because I was
Yeah.
like, it's not fair if you're the only one to get it. No, no.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's everybody's mama and daddy. Because I got a few like that who say that's my mama or my daddy. I'm like,
Yeah.
really? It's all 10 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, you know, we can sort of change this. When parents pass, like everybody should come closer, but it's like the whole family falls apart. And then you like,
You know what, Miss April? I don't think the family falls apart. I think those situations were already present. Like if you weren't getting along with brothers and sisters to begin with, then when your parents are gone, it's like another reason. They were only dealing with you because of mom and dad. You know
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? And now that they're not there, they're like, huh, well, I don't have to deal with you anymore because I only dealt with you because of mommy or daddy. So, and that's just fine with me. Less
yeah,
stress and more peace. That's how I
yeah,
look at it. And my brother is always trying to get me to be like, well, we're family, we're all we have. I said, I get that. But if the family member is always disrespectful and accusatory, I don't need that in my life. Everybody's going through something. You don't need where it should be your safe space with your family. That should not be a space like, oh, and you always, and I don't like that.
yeah.
So for
Do you
me
know any type of way we can fix it?
The whole thing is that I am not a person, I don't start things, but trust me, if you start it, I'm going to finish it.
Oh, girl, you
Every
sound like
time,
you don't
every
start
time,
no mess, won't be no mess.
every time
Mm-hmm.
it's something that they'll bring up, I don't even bring it up. And then when I say something, they pop off. And I'm like, you brought it up. So don't say something and put the cards on the table. And then when I'm telling you it's a queen or a king, you get mad because I'm saying that. The truth is the truth. Here's the cards, they're on the table. Don't get mad at me because I'm telling you what is the truth. That's the truth. So I'm sorry if you don't like it, but that's what it is. I'm not going to change the truth because you don't like it. I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that
Wow.
stands. Until you can accept the truth, I can't deal with you. I'm not going to live a lie. I'm not. I
Right.
refuse to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I tried. It's been October coming will be 7 years since my dad passed. And next week, Tuesday, will be 6 years since my mom passed. So
Okay.
you would think in, 6, almost 7 years that people would grow up. Actually, they've gotten worse. So,
Mhm.
mm,
Wow.
yeah,
Well, everybody grieves different,
yeah.
and really deep down inside, I bet you that they're really, really mad that you were there and you were caring for them. And
Hmm.
so that sounds like about the gist of it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but Miss April, what I didn't tell y'all is I wasn't even living in Florida when I found out my dad got sick. I had moved up to Canada, and it was like I was like, great, I just got here. You know what I'm saying? But for me, my I don't know, my spirit kept tugging at me and saying, you need to go home. I was like, I know you just got here and you have a work commitment and whatever, but you only gonna get one daddy. So I chose to left my job and come back and take care of them. That was my personal choice because at the end of the day, I said I want to live with myself. You can always get a job, but you can't get another mom or dad.
Okay.
That's how I looked at it. And they were like, well, nobody told you to come back here if you didn't want to be back here. It's all those things, Miss April. It's all those things. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, I don't. Uh, I mean, nursing homes, they're fine, but nah, nah.
Hmm.
Mm-mm,
Yeah, that's not for me either. And
mm-mm.
at the end of the day, it was my decision because I wanted when they were gone, because I knew my parents were in their 70s at that time. I knew I wasn't going to have that long with them. So I said for myself, so that I could have peace when they were gone, I'm going to say, Marlene, you did everything that you could within your power while you had them. And I know I can rest assured I don't have anything that I would regret. I would do it all over again. But it's not my problem that you didn't do that. That's not my problem. And they get mad. They said, well, you're the one that moved here. You didn't have to move. You could have stayed where you were at. And
And then what would
I don't
they had
understand the
done?
hostility.
So what would they had done? They wouldn't have moved back to take care of your
No,
dad.
Miss April, they were not moving back. They were living here where my parents were. That part.
Mm,
They lived here. I had moved away. And when I would talk to my mom and dad, the vibe I was getting is that they needed help and nobody was helping them. You know how like parents are, they wouldn't say it,
hmm.
but I could read in between the lines. I was like, what you mean? That took you 2 hours to do that. And what? How come? What? You don't have no food in the house? I was like, nope, nope, nope. I gotta go.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow.
But that was
Yeah.
my decision. I can't make decisions for other people. That's what I chose to do, and I got to live with there's good things and bad things that happen with that. Not
Right.
everybody's gonna like you for the decisions that you make. Sometimes you got to
Right.
make tough ones. And that was a tough one. You think, like, I had a good paying job up there. I was settled. I was enjoying my life. But, I thought about it and I was like, at the end of the day, I got to learn to be happy with the decisions that I make. And I was like, that's my mother and my father. And they're older and they need me. So they never said to me, Marlene, come home and take care of me. I said, I'm coming home. I said that. And they were like, are you, oh no, it will be okay. And I was like, nah. I said, I got
Yeah.
to put in my 2 weeks notice and I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody that takes care of their loved ones while they health goes down and just being there, let me tell you, that is the hardest thing. That is the hardest thing, to see your parents shrink, to
Yep.
see them sick. Man, that is so hard.
It was one of the hardest days for me. And I cried was when I had to tell my dad he couldn't drive anymore. Mm, taking away his keys. And it's like, that's my dad. I didn't feel right, but I know that he was a danger to himself and other people.
Hmm.
And I was like,
Yeah,
I love you, but I got to do this because I love you.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's the part. That's the part that's tough. And other family members got mad. How's she gonna come down and take away his keys? You know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's a
Hmm.
child. She needs to be stay in a child's place and blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So what will you do next week on May 2nd?
that's what I'm trying to think about. What I'm gonna do. Well, I'm definitely not gonna be working.
Right.
So that's one thing that I wish at the time when my dad had passed, I wish that I had enough means that I could have just walked away from my job, but that ain't happening no more. Anybody else who passes away, I don't care. When you need to be there for somebody, you need to be there because you're always going to live with regrets. Mhm.
Right.
And I regret when my dad passed away that I wasn't there for my mom.
Yeah.
And I say to myself sometimes, like, if I had quit my job and just stayed and took care of my mom, would she have lived long? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I blame myself a little bit for that part too. Like, how come you didn't? You should have just quit your job. But it's like at the same time, your bills don't stop coming in. You know. So
Right.
I just did the best that I could at the time, I guess.
So on May 2nd, which is the day your mom passed,
And my
um,
brother.
and your brother too.
Yeah, you remember I said my mom died May 2nd, 2016, and my brother died May 2nd, 2020.
Okay, well then you should do a celebration and cook some food over,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe call, because you said he was in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Call his ex-wife, and well,
Mm-hmm.
still wife, and then the kids,
Yeah.
and y'all just talk and honor them. I
Yeah.
think that would be a great way. Yeah.
I think so too. For me personally, I'm just gonna just be at peace that day. Sit in with the memories, look at pictures, smile. You know, being honest, shed a few tears because you'll miss them. But
Hmm.
you know, I just gotta, I just can't stay in the mode every year to be like sad. I want to move past that every year to be a sad. It should be a happy time. You, you got to
My
shift the way you
father
think
been
about it.
gone. My father been gone 23 years, And I'm still sad on Father's Day in October 8th. My mother has been gone 9 years,
Hmm.
and I'm still sad on them days. I don't know what to do myself. I'm telling you something that I need to be doing, and
Hmm.
which I am. Like I said, I'll get up all happy, but then I'll still end up being sad. Yeah,
Well, Miss April, if you need some support, you could always reach out to me. We can
I
encourage
will.
each other.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
because April 28th is Friday. My mom's
No, it's
birthday
this Friday.
is May 1st. Her birthday is May 1st. And then Mother's Day. Like,
Mhm.
when I tell you, I'm like down for like that whole week, like a week and a half. Just depends on how Mother's Day. It's like I just can't wait for Mother's Day to be over with. And then
Mm.
I can go back to being normal again.
Mm.
Yeah.
See, for me, it's May 2nd for my mom and my brother, and then October for my dad. So it's
Yeah.
like when I just start feeling good, like around maybe September, like I'm coping with it good, I start getting discouraged all over again in
Do
October.
we have any grief counselors in the audience or anybody that would like to come up on the panel? Because Marlene and I are both getting ready to go through a difficult time right here. Losses of moms and brothers, and then,
Mhm.
Mother's Day.
Yep. Well, I like what James said. Whatever you did with them for fun is what you can do on those days also. So what did you used to do with your mom, April?
Girl traveled and shopped. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, we did a lot of traveling. I didn't do gardens. My mother liked to garden. She liked to fish. I didn't like to fish. But on my old Facebook account, you'll see we went all over the world together.
Wow.
But all of that fishing and gardening, no, I wasn't that type of woman. No, I wasn't. No, I ain't going to get dirty. Dirty? Are you kidding me? Fish?
Hmm.
No, I can fish at I fish at Walmart now or Tony's Food. No, I ain't
Yeah.
putting a worm
Mhm.
on a hook. Are you kidding me? No, no. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yep. That's what
yeah.
that's what me and my
But
brother
I'll play her music.
did.
I'll play her Prince, Whitney Houston, R. Kelly, and her
Mhm.
Temptations, and her blues, Bobby Blue Bland, and Bobby Rush, and Lil Milton. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
do because my family is Jamaican, so I just spend the whole day with my music, my dance hall. It's certain music like me and my brother when we used to hang out and we used to dance too. And I have some of those videos, and I haven't watched it since he's passed away, but I feel like I'm finally ready to watch some of the old home videos. So
Okay.
I may do
So,
that.
were you born over here in the United States,
I
Marlene,
was
or Jamaica?
I was born in New York.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. The first five was born in Jamaica and the last five was born in New York.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta do something to to cope with it. You gotta do something, and that's why I'm big on journaling and spending time with people, getting into a hobby and all of that. So
Yeah.
hmm.
Yeah. And actually, now I am into gardening. So
Oh.
we till the dirt. I can't videotape it. I'm in like a senior building now, and some of them don't want to be on videotape. You know, Don't record me, don't put me on. You know, so
Hmm.
I have to respect them, their wishes. But
Yeah.
yeah, and so yeah.
Yeah. That's good, Miss April. You got to get
Mhm.
into doing some things that is fun for you, and that's what I had to learn too for myself. You got to do something fun for yourself.
Yeah, James is asking, where in New York are you from?
Yeah, I put it in the chat, Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn. Okay, I finally made it to Brooklyn. Yeah, Brooklyn is nice. I went there. What was it? No, 2 years, 3 years ago to Brooklyn. Yeah, I got to see everything,
Yeah.
the everything. But honey, let me tell you, I wanted to take a that tour to the Statue of Liberty. Girl, I saw all that water out there. Whew. I'm like, oh no, uh-uh. No, no, but I went to the Apollo, I went to the ink store, I went to the soul food restaurant. I finally made it to Times Square, but yeah, Brooklyn was nice.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yep,
Many,
I even
many,
rode the
many
subway.
memories in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah. So, Miss April, I hope that you're going to, you know,
yeah, I'm gonna
be
be
o-
all right.
you're going to be
Thank
okay.
you.
Just know we're
Yeah, we'll
thinking
be
about
okay.
you.
I'm just glad, you know, this is why I like doing these type of shows. Um, to hope that we help somebody. And thanks for that advice. I am gonna start that morning, and I'll be listening to my Johnny Taylor, Little Milton, The Temptations, and Prince, and
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, all R. Kelly, everybody, all of the
Mhm.
music that we just loved, and listening to my mom of the son, R. Kelly, singing his music, and
Mhm.
we'll be great. Yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome, Leticia. Yeah. Golden Girl says I will be praying for you, Marlene and Miss April.
yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
the teacher, did you actually go go you took that boat out
Yeah.
there on all that water and actually went to the Statue of Liberty? Girl, I couldn't do that. I don't know how to swim. I don't even know
Miss
how to
April,
swim.
I've done all of that. I've been on several cruises too.
Yeah, I've never been on a cruise, and that's on my bucket list. That I won't even. My brother and sister, they're in Columbia, South Carolina, and honey, they down there close to Myrtle Beach, and they had that last hurricane. I was gonna move down there. I'm like, I can't go nowhere with water. I don't know how to swim.
Mm,
Aqua boogie. I could never catch the rhythm of the stroke. No, no. Mm-mm. All that water out there to go to that Statue of Liberty and them little boats they had.
there. Uh-oh. She
But
she oh,
the Statue of Liberty, she looked nice from right there.
mm,
Hmm. Yeah.
yep. Back in the day, way back in the day, you used to be able to go to the top of it.
Yeah.
Don't do that no more. Now you got to pay big bucks to go to the top of it.
Oh, girl, they everything costs now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but back in the day, you could go up there for free. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
everything has
okay,
changed.
James. Yeah. Well, that's nice. Okay, so it's a lot. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that went. I know, and that's what they was telling me. They had life vests, but I think once I take a cruise, I'm gonna be all right with going out on the water. But here, like I'm from Chicago/Joliet, We have Lake Michigan. Honey, it was nothing like seeing that water out there in New York that take you to the Statue of Liberty. Oh no. Uh-uh. Mm-mm.
Well, what about the water they have here in Florida, Miss April?
Girl, I wouldn't move there neither. Uh-uh.
I love my Florida, Miss April. I love it. Hmm.
Honey, much as I complain about the snow and being cold and tornadoes and stuff, but I'm used to them. I don't know how to swim.
Mm.
Mm-mm. And hopefully, like I say, I'm taking me a cruise. That's on my bucket list. But yeah, y'all pray for me.
You
But
can do it. See,
oh yeah, but
20.
I'm taking little boat cruises here in Chicago on the like
Oh,
the
okay.
Spirit of Chicago. I've been on them, but that water in New York was way more water than here in Lake Michigan. Oh, girl, no, that's a lake. I don't know what they got there in New York. Shoot, that's uh uh mm-mm.
Mm.
I've been to Galveston, Texas, on the coast there. The water looked pretty and beautiful, but I can't live nowhere close to water. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
guess everybody got a thing.
everybody has a
So,
thing, and for me, snow makes me sick. It makes me
mm,
so sick. I went into a major depression with the snow because I'm used to how Florida is bright, sunny, birds singing, and going to a place I had never seen gray and snow. I was like, what is going on? When is the sun coming out? I went into a major depression. It's not for me.
and there is actually um they call it, what is it? Seasonal. It's called
Seasonal depression.
seasonal disorder depression.
Yeah.
It's my stupid phone.
Yep. I love everything about the water. Everything about water. I love pools. I love the beach. I love cruises. I love it all.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, now I like
But
going to the
everybody has
beach.
something they love.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I said, Lake Michigan, it's fine. Lake
Mhm.
Michigan is nice, but it's there ain't nothing like that water. What is that called? That's an ocean out there, ain't it?
Yep.
That ain't no lake. That's an ocean in New York.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, no. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Well, Miss
So,
April, this has been fun, but I'm gonna get
yeah.
out of here.
It's been fun. Thanks everybody. Pray for us. Keep us uplifted. Um, losing your parents is very hard. The pain never goes away. Um, I walk around with a sadness all the time. I've lost so many of my loved ones. Um, it's a sadness that I can't even explain. But
Hmm.
still keep going. I
Yep.
still try to keep going, and
Yep.
a lot of my cousins and I, we all still close. Um, so we've lost a lot on my maternal side, but we still
Mhm.
standing. So thank you all for joining us today.
Yes. And thank you so much, Miss April, for all your advice and your encouragement.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, with this grief, I can encourage somebody else. But like I say, I'll wake up Friday and I'll be doing great, and then it's you know
Hmm.
because I got to relive. She died on the 28th. Like we were making my mom's funeral arrangements on her birthday, which was May 1st.
Mm.
And so, yeah,
Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, But
Yeah,
you have to move on with your life, and you got to think that they wouldn't want us to be unhappy.
and I know this, and I know it, and I know it, but and I be talking myself like I'm gonna get up Saturday and I'm gonna be talking myself like, don't do it,
Mhm.
don't let it win, don't let it get you, don't let
I
it get
know.
you. So I try.
Yes, just
Okay,
keep your head up, and my email and my
I
Instagram, Miss
know.
April, so you can hit that anytime. And anybody who's here in the chat, if you need some encouragement, I can always encourage. I feel like that's my role on this earth, is to encourage other people. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and learn to let some things go. For you, so you can have peace of mind. Like I
mhm,
said, I don't care about pictures or anything. Keep the pictures. None of that stuff matters. You know,
yeah,
it don't matter. I just need it. I need peace now, and I'm gonna have peace. So when they say forgive others for yourself, and it's for you to have peace, cause
yeah,
they are right. They at peace.
yep.
Yeah,
It's now for you. That's the conclusion that I came to,
yeah.
is that
It's for you.
now I have to have my own peace.
Yeah. So if they want to be mad, cause and keep a photo album, or they mad because you gave away something and they didn't come over and let them be mad. Let them be mad. You know,
You know what I say, Miss April? All of those things are material things,
they
but
material.
and material things can't keep you warm at night.
Yeah,
They're not a human being. Those material things
exactly.
can't
Exactly.
comfort you and talk to you. So
Yeah.
that's what it
Okay.
is. So thank you, Miss April, and everybody in the chat.
Okay, no
Everybody have a great
problem. Peace
evening. Thanks.
out, everybody. I'm out.
Bye, guys. Thank you for joining me. See you on the next one, guys.